of matches we possibly could be getting out of it. So here's what I was kind of just playing around with earlier today, and it goes as follows. YouTube pre-show. The way I'm looking at this, the way things are going, I think that we're probably going to be seeing Caitlyn take on AJ Lee for the Divas title. If we don't get that for a YouTube pre-show, it's possible that we could be seeing Kofi Kingston take on Big E Langston for the United States title. Now, before you guys jump on my bone now, some of you may be a little bit upset that I put Kofi Kingston, Big E Langston on a YouTube pre-show. Well, I'm looking at it from two different standpoints with that. Now, granted, some people, they don't really care about WWE Divas action. That's why I went on ahead and I put that match there for the YouTube pre-show. At the same time, we know that in the past, WWE, they've thought highly of AJ Lee and her work, so just keeping all that in mind, her connection with Dolph Ziggler there, it's highly probable that she could have that match that she's going to be in. It could easily slide to the actual card of the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. So if that were the case, then you kind of got to go with the next best thing, and I think the next best thing would be Kofi Kingston taking on Big E Langston for that United States title. But in either case, those are the two matches I'm looking at for your pre-show. With regards to the Divas match, it's time. I've been saying it, God, I don't know how many weeks now, how many months. It's time. We need to see that title get taken off of Caitlyn. It's time. I need to see the team of Dolph Ziggler, Big E Langston, AJ Lee all wear gold in the company. It's been a long time since we've seen somewhat of a little stable, a faction, if you will, sporting most of the gold in the company. You got the right people to do it. I say, what the hell, go for it. AJ Lee, she always captures the attention of many in the WWE universe, young, old, male, female, everybody kind of messes with her. So AJ Lee, I got her going over Caitlyn to become the new Divas champion. For your match between Kofi Kingston, Big E Langston for that United States title, I'm definitely going to be going with Big E Langston. The man has just been on a roll. He just continues to just impress the hell out of me every single time he is in that ring. I mean, he's just so quiet, but to the point. I just been really loving this guy. Even though we got some knuckleheads out there, they want to call him Coco Lesnar and all that other stuff. All joking aside, the guy's been a freaking beast since he's come up to the roster. I definitely want to see him get the United States title, and I promise you this, Big E Langston becoming the United States champion, that big boy is going to be holding on to that belt for quite a long time. And it's actually good that it's going to be Kofi Kingston that's going to be doing the job, because it just really wouldn't have the same effect if it was a Antonio Cesaro taking on a Big E Langston. You know what I'm saying, boys and girls? Just consider that to be one straight-up burial of Cesaro. That would just really have people cursing their asses off to no end. So Kofi Kingston, I got him losing the U.S. title to Big E Langston. Kane, Daniel Bryan, I got them taking on the Shield's Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins for the tag titles. We're going to see some new champions get crowned. Kane, Daniel Bryan, it is not them. They are not the chosen ones to defeat the Shield. Shield is going to go on to be undefeated for a little while longer. Now, granted, we've seen just a little bit of kinks in the Shield's armor when it comes to singles matches. Remember, Dean Ambrose, he did lose to The Undertaker on Friday Night SmackDown last week. It was via submission. So keep that in the back of your mind, as WWE, they are willing to let Shield lose in singles matches when it counts the most, but it looks like they're very high on them as a trio. So don't expect them to lose anytime soon as a trio, but As far as those tag titles go, it's time to see Kane and Daniel Bryan go their separate ways. No doubt there's probably going to be a rematch for the tag titles. I got them coming up short. We could probably see the rematch happen as early as Monday Night Raw. You know how sometimes they like to do it the night after the pay-per-view. They like to try to give us maybe one or two rematches from the pay-per-view. I can see Kane and Daniel Bryan trying to invoke a rematch clause in their contract. I still got them coming up short. Kane and Daniel Bryan, it's time. We need to see Daniel Bryan go back to being that type of guy he was right after he had lost to Sheamus in 18 seconds. Kane, he'll be all right. I mean, his career is kind of starting to wind down a little bit. Really, they need to put all their marbles into Daniel Bryan right now. Sheamus taking on Mark Henry. We've been seeing how these two guys have just been going at it week after week. Most recently, this past Monday Night War, we saw these two guys engage in a tug-of-war. Can't remember the last time I've seen a tug-of-war on WWE programming. It's been a damn good minute, but that was hilarious right there. These two guys, they just do not like each other, and when you have those ingredients and the fact that these guys are one of the best big and physical guys in the WWE, we're in for a decent match. I feel Mark Henry, ever since he's come back from his recent injury, the man has just been on freaking point. He has literally picked up right where he left off with his Hall of Pain gimmick. And at the rate that he's going, man, Mark Henry, he could probably taste that World Heavyweight title one more time, or maybe even the WWE title before he hangs up the boots for good. But with Mark Henry taking on Sheamus, definitely going to be a very physical match. Don't look for any arm bars in that match, boys and girls. For this one, man, thinking about those brutal tackles that Mark Henry's been doing to Sheamus the past couple of weeks, and then Sheamus kind of coming back with a little bit of retribution there as he did that bro kick to the face of Henry this past Monday night. 3 weeks to go. The way this is looking on paper, I would love to go with Mark Henry. I think that's the route you need to go, but Sheamus needs a little bit of retribution right here. He needs to get a little bit of that big payback. I got Sheamus going over Mark Henry, but don't be too surprised if the two guys go at it again one more time, maybe at another pay-per-view. Randy Orton, he's been a little bit quiet. He really kind of comes off as if he needs a little something to do, and as we kind of got a little taste of the promo that he had cut on Raw this past Monday night, it looks like he isn't quite done with the Big Show just yet. And Big Show, as we know, he's been doing a little bit of promotional touring, things of that nature. Just in case you guys haven't been able to figure out what he's been up to, most recently he was with Stephanie McMahon at the Yahoo press conference earlier today as they've announced that WWE will be partnering up with Yahoo. I'll tell you a little bit more about that after we get done with the full card, but Big Show, he has been still active in the WWE. I would like to see Randy Orton and Big Show go at it. I know that's probably going to be a little bit of a snoozer for some folks, but leave it to Randy Orton to do what's necessary to carry the match. I got Randy Orton going over Big Show. Hasn't really been that much support for the Divas as far as tag team action goes, which honestly, in my eyes, the tag action that we've been getting for the Divas has been better than the singles matches. Point being, I don't know how you guys feel, but I actually would not mind seeing Nikki and Brie Bella take on Naomi and Cameron. Maybe you can have their male counterparts be there to support them, so to speak. So Cody Rhodes, Damian Sandow, they could be there at ringside supporting the girls. Sweet Tea, Brodus Clay, same deal for the Bella Twins, but all the focus needs to be on Nikki and Brie Bella taking on Naomi and Cameron. Hey, remember, after all, we were supposed to see this at the last pay-per-view, and we didn't get it. So what better way to kind of redeem, and not to mention it'd be kind of cool to have a little bit of a filler match. Give people a chance to take a piss break, all that good stuff. Yeah. But for that one, God, I love Nikki and Brie Bella, man. They have just been on ever since they've come back, I've just been more fascinated. I don't know if that's really the right word I want to be using, but I've been, I guess, a little bit more engaged into them and their characters and actually wanting to see them in the ring. They do have my attention. Aside the fact that they're twins and they're freaking hot, they do have my attention when it comes to the in-ring action. I do want to see them pick up the victory. Not to mention it kind of helps their stock a little bit more since they got that new WWE Divas show that's supposed to be premiering on the E! Network shortly. All right, we got 2 matches left, boys and girls. Of course, Brock Lesnar taking on Triple H. Steel cage match right here. Last time that these two guys are going to be going at it. For this particular match, when you look at the names on paper, you say Brock Lesnar. You've got to go over Triple H. Triple H, he really does not need this victory. Triple H, he needs to go away for a little while. Brock Lesnar, his stock needs to be basically kind of put out there, after all, we did see Triple H defeat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. So how can we go to back-to-back pay-per-views and see Brock Lesnar lose? That really wouldn't do him any good. On paper, you say Brock Lesnar, he needs to pick up the victory. Whether or not WWE would go that route, I don't know. I'm really on the fence about this one. The smart booking says you give it to Brock Lesnar. My heart is saying Brock Lesnar. But, my mind is saying Triple H. So how do we rectify this? Well, that's a tough one. This is a real tough one. Let's look at it from this standpoint. If WWE wants to do something major with Brock Lesnar, they have to build him up really well. And if he has the same type of a structured deal like he did last year, remember, right after Extreme Rules, we didn't see him after that for a couple of months. Next time we saw him was pretty much when it came close to SummerSlam. So keeping that in mind, you're kind of saying to yourself, and this is what you have to put into the back of your mind, if he has the exact same type of deal, same number of dates, this could be it for Lesnar for a while. The smart booking would be to have him go over Triple H, come on out the next night on Monday Night Raw, pretty much boast about how he beat the crap out of Triple H. There's no one in the company that can stop him, yada, 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 yada. That's pretty much it. Maybe eventually this could set Brock Lesnar up, if written properly. Maybe it could set him up for a match with CM Punk at SummerSlam. Food for thought. I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar for the victory over Triple H. And for the WWE title, John Cena taking on Ryback for the WWE champion. Could we possibly be seeing a new champion at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view? John Cena's first title defense? You can't help but ask that question because you're wondering to yourself, how serious is the injury that he has with this right Achilles? Is the injury that serious at all? Honestly, I don't think it is. I think this is just a story angle to set up John Cena so he can take a little bit of time off. We've been telling you guys, and in case you missed it, we'll tell you guys at least one more time. This guy is supposed to be taking a couple of weeks off in May. He's going to be missing a few episodes of Raw. I think that what we saw with the whole right Achilles, I think this is just them trying to set him up so he can be off TV for a little bit. Unlike The Rock, though, I see no reason why you need to take the WWE title off of him. I think Ryback, he's been doing a phenomenal job, despite the fact that all of a sudden this heel turn just pretty much came out of nowhere, and I still kind of feel that WWE is going the wrong route in having him be a heel right now. But despite all that, this first title defense, I just don't see Ryback becoming the new WWE champion. Not in this first epic encounter between these two guys for the title. If these two guys were to go at it at a second pay-per-view or a third consecutive pay-per-view, yeah, maybe Ryback could then get the title. But in this first go-round, I don't see it happening. It would not surprise me if WWE would be arguing about this right on up till the night of the pay-per-view. It would not surprise me to hear headlines come out that Vince and the crew, they seriously were considering putting the title on Ryback. But I just don't see it happening this first go-round. So, John Cena, I know, I can just feel the boos coming from you all right now. John Cena, though, he would still retain the title. All right, let's recap for you guys one more time. Take it up from the very top. We'll work our way back down. For your YouTube pre-show, pending right here, 2 matches we could possibly be seeing. They want to just have it come down to one match on their pre-show. We could possibly see Caitlyn take on AJ Lee for the Divas title. If that's the case, AJ Lee becomes the new champion. If we don't see that match for our YouTube special, maybe we could see Kofi Kingston take on Big E Langston for the United States title. And in the event that happens, Big E Langston becomes the new United States champion. For the tag team titles, I have the Shields, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins becoming the new champs. Sheamus, much-needed victory over Mark Henry. I have Randy Orton going over the Big Show. Nikki and Brie Bella, I got them going over Naomi and Cameron. Brock Lesnar versus Triple H steel cage match. I've got to go with Brock Lesnar. Smart booking says you got to have Lesnar go out strong, since we're not probably going to see him for a couple of months. And for your main event match, John Cena taking on Ryback for the WWE title. First outing, you got to give the big W to John Cena. Just doesn't really add up to see him go from The Rock, defeating the great one, the so-called People's Champion, etc., to losing to Doomsday, a.k.a. Kryptonite, Mr. Ryback Rules. Not in the first outing, maybe at the second or third pay-per-view that these two guys lock it up for the title. Maybe we could see a title exchange hands, but not for this first outing. I definitely want to hear what you guys think is going to be happening at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. If you think this is pretty much the card that we're going to be seeing, definitely chime off your thoughts. Let us know who you got going over. And, hey, if you're on point, we'll definitely show you some love when we do the post-show covering the fallout from the Extreme Rules pay-per-view Sunday night, May 19th on YouTube. I repeat, you'll be able to catch that Extreme Rules post-show live on YouTube May 19th. So mark it down on your calendar.